Welcome to the Electric Theatre.
Hello.
Hey,
How you doing, man?
good. How are you?
I'm doing well. Do I call you Elliot or do I call you Sloan? Something about me says I need to call you Sloan.
Oh, really?
Do you have friends that call you that?
Not really. Everyone just calls me Elliot. Or
Okay.
E, I
Okay,
guess.
E. All right. It's just I really like the Sloan Wolf. You know, kind of like the playoff in my brain, like Lone Wolf. You know? So I figured like the Sloan was a really big part of your creation. So that's why I think I was feeling. I really like that.
Hell
Sloan
yeah!
Wolf
Thanks,
company.
man.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah.
I like that a lot.
Fuck yeah.
So how you doing?
I'm doing great, man. Just chilling out. Trying to stay busy as I can be, I guess. And that's it, man. Yeah. How about you?
Same thing. Just taking this opportunity in the world to mentally, physically, and spiritually do the things I always talk about doing, and kind of nailing the nail in the coffin on all of them. Not all of them are real quick ones, like, go check out a church or a bridge or, fish at this lake. Those are all pretty easy. These are more like do something for 45 straight days kind of things. That's what I've been trying to collect, things that have a reward a few weeks later instead of just temporary satisfaction. It seems like that's a lot of what's wrong in the world, in my opinion, anyways, that quick fix. It's like we got to stay the course a little bit longer,
Right.
Where are you calling from? I mean, where are you at right now?
I'm in Vista, California.
Okay. God, it was hot in California yesterday. I saw 120 degrees.
Yeah, it was insane here yesterday. It was like I think it was like 106 or 108 at my house, which is like unheard of.
Wow.
But it cooled off today. It's back to I think it's like mid 80s now.
Okay, well that's good. It's 73 here in Des Moines. I'm calling you from Des Moines, Iowa, and it's like, they say global warming. It's like we get colder in August already. It's colder. It's like the wind's blowing.
Oh, wow.
My wife's wearing a jacket, and but it's 121 degrees in some places in California, which is just, the whole world seems to be shifting in some sort of insane weather pattern that I don't know if we can adhere our brains to.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think there's any denying it. It's definitely getting crazier.
It is. So I wanted to, there's a lot of things I want to try and discuss with you, I guess always in a short period of time, it seems like, with some of these things I want to get. I wanted to talk to you a little bit about this mega park. So I don't, I just go sort of in a little bit. I don't try to really get dates and times. I try to get that from people directly, to get the info. So basically where I want to go a little bit is your ability, this flow. In Slipknot, I would call it game. We always say that we have game. Like, we'll do these crazy idea things and they'll happen and people will be like, what the fuck? And we'll be like, it's just, I got game, it's not really competitive. It's just that inner human will. So I watch you live your life through these ramps and this air and the finesse and the ballet. And I want to talk to you about this game, this feeling of, I guess what I want to know, because it's hard to explain. I want to say it the right way. I feel like a lot of kids today growing up might not have the ability to have so much of the reality of their surroundings, the outdoors. You know, I'm 50.
Yeah.
I'm basically 51 this month. I grew up outdoors, creeks, ponds, lakes, forests, woods.
Yeah.
You know, looking for it. And you know, we all know that these days. So anyway, I'm trying to push. You know, I think it would be important for all kinds of kids to watch you perform your dance and your what looks to be, you know, just this amazing sort of score and the freedom of this game. So I kind of want to talk about, does it ever become so effortless that you're going off a ramp, you're like, I want to achieve this. You hit the top of the ramp at your momentum, and you know immediately, okay, I missed this, because you're so in it. Can you feel that the minute you launch? Do you know if you're going to get what you were going for? Are you that connected before you're even in the space where you're having to perform? I don't know if I'm making sense, but I'm basically
for sure
inside this mindset.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of these tricks that you know, I've filmed or I've done like in a contest, or you know, it's like things that I've tried for sometimes days, weeks, just to do it once. And it's, I'd say, like 90% mental, just trying to, you know, get yourself to commit to like actually sticking it. But yeah, you can, like, I can definitely tell, like, when I take off and like go for something, so like sometimes I'm like, oh, this is the one. Like, it's kind of this crazy feeling where, you know, almost like right off the lip, I'll be like, boom, oh, this one's it. But yeah, definitely, it just comes with trying it like over and over and over. You know, a lot of this shit definitely. No, I never was like super into baseball. I was into soccer for a bit. I think like 3rd, 4th grade, I was like getting into soccer, and then I think I tried out for like the team, and I didn't make the team, and I was like, oh, fuck this shit, then I'm a skateboarder.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, teams are everybody. Well, I asked because I read once that they say hitting a baseball is pretty much at the top percentage, one of the most difficult things to do in an athletic setting, because of just the ratios, the speed, and the eyeballs having to connect and have to reacting, you know, quicker than the speed, you know, so it's a very difficult thing. I say this because I used to play baseball, and when I would connect with the ball, I would know that fucking thing was gone.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean, you just, some things you know, and like you would just, that bat, that piece, that stick in your hands, and you snap that leather, you're like, that thing is out of here. So that's kind of what, you know, I'm trying to get at a little bit. And you're saying that, like, you know, it's like, boom, you hit the lip, you're like, that's out of here. Or you're like, you know, oh, I just sliced that off into left field over in the you know, crowd. Yeah. It's kind of like that, right?
Yeah, for sure. Like I said, you know, I definitely know after I've been trying a trick for so many times or whatever, I've been trying to, you know, film something just to do it once. I know, like, you know, I'll take off and I'll be like, oh, this is the one right here. Or like, yeah, this one's it.
What's your main forte? What's the thing you like the most for yourself that you're known for? Is it air, or is it, I mean, because I don't know all the terminology of, like, you know, what the, you know, there's so many versions of skating. You know, there's streets, there's bowls, there's ramps, there's so much to try and get in your brain, and each one of those seems to me, because I know a lot of inner city street trick skaters. That's like probably the skaters I know the most in this world, you know, and
Mhm.
that's culture seems to be different than bowl cultures. I spent a lot of time at the Dogtown Bowl in Venice, you know, when I'm down there. Yeah, I'll sit there for hours and hours and hours and just relax and just watch people. It's such a peace of mind to watch that flow. But anyway, I mean, what's your thing? What do you love? What's the thing that every day you got to get up and do when you're on that? You know.
I guess like Mega Ramp and this new thing that I created. Like this is probably one of the funnest things I've ever created, and it's been really cool to. You know, because we just finished this whole thing back in March, I think, and I've been trying to get this thing finished for like the last 3 or 4 years. But you know, essentially, it's 2 mega ramps back to back. Whereas before, you would hit the jump, you'd land, you'd hit the quarter pipe, and you would come back up the landing and you'd finish. Whereas now it's, you know, you land the quarter pipe and you come back, you can hit another jump and then another quarter pipe.
Right.
And so just, linking all those things together, it's, I don't know, that's my thing now.
I see you crossing between, when you drop the word link, it makes me think you're coming one way, you do the turn, you're going the other way, and then you're over on the other side all of a sudden. You're like, whoop, right over there.
Yep.
And that's intense. That's like, that's parallel. You know, that's different layers. That's jumping layers and really dividing the thought. So I get it. So is this your ramp? Where is this?
Yeah.
And give me the history.
It's in my backyard, and let's see. Yeah, I've been at this house for 8 years now. We moved in here 8 years ago in September. Yeah, and started with the vert ramp. We built this like 100-foot wide vert ramp, and then I still had the room to like build all this other stuff. And I ride for Tony Hawk's skateboard company, and Tony had this. That quarter pipe from the Boom Boom Huck Jam tour. I don't know if you remember that like tour that they used to do.
Yeah.
But it was pretty much this ramp that went through the vert ramp, and they would jump over the back of it and then land and go into this big quarter pipe. And so he had that in his warehouse for like the longest time, and like it just they didn't use it. It wasn't set up, and I was kind of like kept asking about it and bugging. And I'm like, yo, Tony, like I got the space for this thing. Like let's set it up. And so finally one day he's like, all right, yeah, like we're trying to clear out the warehouse. Like you got to come get all this stuff. So it went and picked up everything, and it took me years, I guess, to like sift through everything and, get rid of the shit that I didn't need. And so then, in 2016, we started setting up the first half. So we started with the quarter pipe, set that all up, and then pretty much worked backwards. They built the landing, and then I think we stopped for a little bit. I kind of just ran out of money. I was trying to find more sponsors. And then, then we built the jump and the roll in, and then that was it. The first half was done. And then it wasn't until 2017 I started writing for Weed Maps, and I was really trying to sell them on this idea of this new ramp and this, just this whole new thing. And they backed it, and they gave me the money, and it took a while. But then, we started building that in 2018. And then about, I'd say halfway through, we were building it, and I was like, oh shit, this needs to be different, in order for it to work. And I kind of told them that from the beginning. I was like, hey, this has never been built before. We're kind of just we're kind of just winging it. So hopefully this amount of money will get us through. And then sure enough, it didn't. So then, that kind of held things up for a bit. We had to raise more money again. There's just so many things, dude. So many like things that we encountered that were just like so gnarly. So yeah, it was definitely quite the process. But yeah, we finished everything in end of March or like mid-March, and yeah, just so hyped, dude, because it was seriously just felt like the longest process, and there were so many headaches, and man, it's finally done now.
It seems huge. It seems ginormous. How much land is it on?
It's like 1.9 acres here.
Okay.
So it's just like, it's like just under 2 acres.
And it's a neighborhood. It looks like there's houses around the whole perimeter.
Yeah, it's crazy. Everyone's always like, dude, how are your neighbors? Like, because it is like there's neighbors.
I don't like any drama. I don't like any drama on my show. I don't like any of that stuff or whatever. But I have to ask, how are your neighbors? Because I only ask because it's like it's not a theme park, man. It's a sculpture.
Yeah.
It's a piece of art for real.
Yeah.
And it's beautiful with the trees and all that. But
yeah,
it's so grandiose almost that it's like, what do all those people, do they enjoy it? Or, you got any headaches? I mean, you don't have to really go into it, but it's so big, it's just amazing.
Yeah. There was only really one neighbor that kind of had a concern right at the beginning. They're like, oh, dude, like, what are you building? Like, and I'm like, it's all good. I'm going to like plant some trees here and whatever. But I mean, for the most part, I've been really lucky with the neighbors. They're like, a lot of them they think it's cool. They think it's, it's sick. They like pretty much have, this like such a high level caliber of people over here skating. So, and again, it's not like we're not out there skating all day and all night. We'll skate. We'll maybe skate for like 3 hours, and then that's it. So try and be like respectful, and not be out there all day and night and blasting music. So yeah, I've just been lucky with the neighbors.
Well, I think it's awesome because, I mean, you and I could count numerous lists of eyesores and pathetic schemes that the human race have designed around us that we have to pathetically put up with every day. Just like, why do I want to look at this? Why is this got to be at the end of the street? All this garbage, So, I mean, your sculpture, for lack of what I'm calling it, is it seems like an asset. You know what I mean? It's definitely an original piece of art that you're not going to find anywhere right now. So, I mean, people should feel privileged to be around it. And like you said, I can't imagine the cats that are skating it and hitting it. I mean, it's real business. It's not. Yeah. I would say it's not for kids, right?
I mean, dude, there's some kids shredding on it, man. It's crazy. There's this girl that actually just came over here. It's one of the last videos that I put up on my YouTube channel, but she's 12 years old, dude, and she not only did she jump it, but now she's like fully, like, it's the craziest thing I've ever seen. She's fully skating it. She does the whole line. She learned frontside and backside 360s the other day. And like every time she skates here, she's going higher and higher. Like the other day she was here, she was doing like 12 to like 13 or 14 foot airs out of the quarter pipe, which is just like, I've never seen anybody learn it that quick. I mean, it was like, I think it was only her 5th or 6th time skating it.
Is she local?
They live in Huntington Beach. But, that's just crazy.
I mean, that's amazing that you could facilitate that and, be able to talk about it and encourage it and promote it. I mean, that's kind of where I was going. It's like that's kind of like a lot of what I'm trying to do with this is like, I'm just so over like everybody being right because everybody's wrong. I don't feel like anybody's listening, and I feel like the internet and all this stuff's kind of getting in the way. So it's like I try to promote anytime I can, anything that's physical, literally staying the course. You're a human, you get this board with wheels, you got to make friends, you got to make friends, and you got to work it. And pretty soon now you got this attribute in your life that's just amazing. And I want kids growing up to get more physical like that. You know what I mean? To just know
for sure.
that it's still there. So, man, that's amazing that you can open up that world of yours to a 12-year-old who you're noticing is getting better each time, and you're not allowing it. I mean, you are, but I mean, you're encouraging it. I mean, that's absolutely game over right there, right?
Yeah. Oh, for sure. It's like, yeah, I definitely encourage that too, just kids being active. And I just feel like, I mean, not even for kids, just everybody. I feel like it's so important for your mental and just physical health.
So do you were saying, banging music. That's another thing that I've always liked about the skate culture is the diversity. I know that if I go to a skate park, I'm going to hear something that I haven't heard. And what I like about that is I usually let all music find me, because usually I'm around people, and some people I'm around got their head up their asses on how they're being fucking brainwashed, and I don't want to hear it. I don't care that Breaking Bad is the best thing ever. I don't want to hear it from you. I need to find it on my own, because my day comes with its own problems and sets of rules. So I need, and when Breaking Bad did find me, it changed my life forever. It was the baddest thing ever. I was like, whoa, my God, this changed my life. But I just let art find me, because then I can really enjoy it, and I don't feel like it's contrived from other people, like fueling me, selling me on this. I want to sell myself. But you were bringing up music, and what do you guys usually generally? I know you're going to say everything, but I mean, what's the majority? Do they need a beat? Do they need an aggressive beat to stay in a mindset that's fast paced because you're moving? Does everybody wear pods? Or, I mean, you said cranking music, so tell me a little bit about the music that's being played there.
Well, yeah, a couple of guys do wear like ear pods. It just depends, man. Like sometimes, I mean, I love metal. I love electronic music. I love hip hop. But I've noticed sometimes sometimes metal will almost get me like too psyched, where, you're trying to do these tricks, and it just requires like this certain level of, I guess, just being like relaxed. Like the more tense and like fired up you are, sometimes like, or the harder you're trying something, the harder it is, versus just being like a little bit more chill and, just taking a deep breath, and shit kind of like comes easier when you're in that state of mind. So yeah, I mean, the playlists are definitely a little bit all over the place. Or other times I won't even have music going, because I'll just try and just focus as hard as I can.
I'll tell you what, that's what I've been doing. I had knee surgery on one of my knees, and I know I have a problem putting all my weight and all my authority on my right knee, because I'm right-handed. So I'm always moving forward with that right knee. So I've been practicing distributing the weight evenly and requiring more assistance from my left leg. And the way I started really being able to do it was to not listen to music while I was out in my yard doing work. and really just like breathing and listening to my surroundings and like focusing, like you said, just really like.
Totally.
And it's so weird, man, because it's like I don't generally like birds because they're just like my mom had a bird. It's a long story, but birds just kind of like birds sort of annoy me. I love them. I love all things, but birds sort of like get under my crawl. And like this whole summer, man, I just flipped my whole respect and love for like birds because by shutting off the music, which I have pretty much in my life all day long, everywhere, somehow, some way. Anyway, listening to the birds, at one time, I'm not lying, I heard 10 different conversations. You know, there was like 4 conversations, 4 different birds, but then there was a woodpecker over here, nailing a tree, a couple hummingbirds flying around, the sugar thing, and I was like, wow, man, I opened my head to this, and it works, you know what I mean? So I totally understand that, having to shut the muse off in order to like get into oneself, you know.
There's actually one of the trees next to the ramp. There's like 4 red-tailed hawks that live in there, and they fly around the ramp, and like sometimes they get super low, and like you'll always hear them like just. Sometimes they like really go off, man. Like you could tell there's like 3 or 4 of them that are just like, I don't know, they're having a conversation or something. But that's always cool.
Yeah, that'd be intense. So tell me a little bit. I was told that you started a band recently. That you're jamming. So what? It's Night Friends. Night Friends, is that the name of the band?
Night Fiends.
I'm sorry, one more time?
Night Fiends.
Okay, yes.
So my roommate is an incredible drummer. He's the drummer for In Flames. And, we've been jamming out for, I guess, a little over a year now. And the project's just kind of like a collab studio project, you know, like Tanner and I are like the main members, and then we've got guest vocals for each of the songs and like guest solos. But yeah, it's just been super fun to, you know, kind of collab with a lot of these dudes that are in my favorite bands. I mean, we got Anders from In Flames to sing on one of the songs that I actually used for a video part that I put out earlier this year. Aaron Pauley from Of Mice and Men did 2 tracks actually, did vocals. But yeah, man, it's just been super fun. But yeah.
What instrument, or do you sing, or do you play an instrument?
I play guitar. Yeah, I play guitar and like program all the synth shit, and yeah.
Seems like, you know, I always my mom always called me a Renaissance man. You know, we do all things. We all like the same things, you know. Yeah. I always wanted to skateboard. I'm a big guy, so I was like, it was like putting a bag of water on a rolling log, and when the water falls off the log and smashes against the brick, it's just not good. So yeah. I can't get my equilibrium right. You know, I'm kind of a mess that way. So I spent a lot of times falling, and my gut instinct always made me stop with my wrists, and I end up hurting my wrists a lot. And I was just like, I like drum playing too much, and it just hurt, you know what I mean? I'm like, I'm never going to be able to do this. So not never, but I was like, I'm just going to have to work really hard to get this one done. So I ended up doing more freestyle and BMXing back in the day. Like I said, I'm 51, so I grew up in a really – how old are you, if you don't mind me asking?
32.
Okay, so you're a young man, right? So I'm 51. I'm not old, but I was really fortunate to grow up in a really cool era of BMXing, you know, just all the greats, you know, when you could buy freestyling magazines and BMX magazines and just see, you know, all of them, being endorsing Redline or Cooks Brothers, Torker, Racing Incorporated. The list goes on and on. Haro, of course. But I grew up around that time, and so I went to BMX style because, I could at least put my feet down and not fall over. So, but a lot of my friends, my oldest son, he's sort of a street punk skater. He jumps off of buildings and tries not to break the board and, that stuff. So I love it. And, of course, being in the knot, we're around a lot of that, a lot. I'll have to I'd love when I'm down that way, man. I'd love because, I shoot. When I met the Metal Militia guys back a long time ago, they were out on a tour with us, Mayhem Festival, and I would go watch these cats do their thing and do their ballet. And, I was always I just always had so much fun trying to capture that momentum. And I know a couple of them had these huge, the one gentleman had this huge acreage where they do something similar to you, but I think they change it up a lot. They got bulldozers and, they'll get bored of their doubles and change it over here or something. But I was going to go camp out. I was going to go camp out. So when I'm down in that neck of woods, man, I want to, I don't know if you allow people or whatever, but I'd love to shoot,
for sure.
Shoot you guys, doing your deal and just like feel that freedom would be just like amazing.
Yeah, that'd be sick.
Do you have someone flying a drone when you're doing it? Is that how you get most of it? I mean, you got a friend that does that, or do you just like how do you get all these aerials and stuff like the so big? There's a couple drone guys, but actually my brother-in-law is like the best drone pilot. He got super into those, like they're called FPV drones. They're like the super little ones. I've seen them. Yeah, and so like we filmed a bunch of stuff earlier this year. Right when we finished the ramp, I started filming. He came out. He lives in Georgia, but the drone stuff is the sickest. I think you can really. It feels like you're, almost like riding with you or something. Yeah, it's like it is riding with you. A real good drone operator. Did you ever see the movie Black Swan?
Black Swan, is that with
Natalie Portman?
Yeah, I saw that.
So that movie was really intense because the DP, had to I don't know if it was several people or one person, but there was a main camera operator who had to learn the dance as well to be able to move in an efficient way, in a very pure way with them. Coming around when they're coming around, going down. They probably had a steady cam so they could, obviously, but, similar. A drone would be the same thing. It'd be like a really good operator could know what you're doing, come around, get you from the back, get low, and just almost come down with you when you're hitting, So it's pretty intense, that drone stuff. We haven't come out on the stages sometimes. I throw water bottles at the stuff, and, it can get fun.
Oh, shit.
Well, when no one tells you on a Slipknot show that you're going to have a drone in your face, then it's open game. If you don't want it to be open game, then you need to let me know beforehand. And I don't care who it is. Yeah, you know what I mean? Just give me a heads up. Otherwise, hey, that thing's coming down. I look at it as a personal achievement to take a drone out of the air with a water bottle at a Slipknot show. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's funny. There was actually like a couple weeks ago, there was like, we were skating, there was just like randomly, there was a drone in the air, and I was like, dude, who is that? Who's filming that? And they're like, I saw like a few houses away, like these people were like kind of scheming something there. I was like, "Hey, get that shit out of here, dude."
Yeah, the laws. There's huge laws on that now. We were out on the road in Utah, and we were at one of the Live Nation amphitheaters, and it was close to the airport. I don't know if we knew that it was close to the airport, but if I remember right, so Sid had bought this drone, really big one, and he'd been flying it all week. And just, doing it, flying it in crazy wind, like that's when he wanted to fly it the most, was like crazy wind. Like, let's go out and fly it in the worst weather. Anyway, we were there, and the drone took off on him.
Oh, shit.
And it just left him. And he was saying that it felt like it engaged, like someone took it. Anyway, we were by an airport, and he was able to locate it with like a pin on the phone or something, and he saw it and could see it or something, but couldn't go there because it was in the airplane thing. But I think we were all talking that maybe they grabbed it and took it down, and it's like, well, how'd they grab it? It's like the system is built into the system that we don't even know. And if you read between the lines, that's all you really need to know. And I think that's probably why people like yourself make mega parks. Yeah. Just to get out.
There's tons of restrictions with drones now, and you can get in a lot of trouble for flying them in national parks is like a fucking major no-no. Yeah, airports. I think a lot of the drones now too, if you're flying in an area where you're not supposed to, it'll say on the controller, oh, you're not allowed to fly here.
Yeah, the parks are federally owned, so they're not going to let you have it. They got to protect their Sasquatches and all their other shit that's going on in all these huge parks. I think drones are a little invasive though. You know what I'm saying? Here where I'm from, I'm not necessarily proud of this or whatever, but I just don't think the mentality here, if you have an acreage and there's a drone up in the air sort of in your acreage space, it's probably coming down with a 22. You know what I mean? It's probably not going to live very long around here because it's invasive, and it's like you said, these guys are scheming. You know it. You can feel it. You're like, this is no good. That thing's an eye in the sky, so they're pretty...
Sure. Yeah. Go ahead. I was just going to, especially when you're not expecting it, or nobody gave you the heads up, and all of a sudden there's a drone there. That's good. Come on.
Yeah, that's no good for anybody. So what do you got going on the rest of the day?
Probably just gonna skate a little bit later, wait for it to cool off. I think it's definitely not as hot as yesterday, but probably just be skating a little bit later. I don't know, probably play the guitar a little bit. That's about it, man. Maybe play some video games. A new Tony Hawk game just came out, so kind of messing around with that. That's been pretty cool, just because it's the first and second game remade, so it's kind of it's just got all that nostalgia to it, which has been pretty cool to see some of those levels. Yeah, dude.
First one got me through hours and hours and hours of isolation on the very first album cycle. On that first album cycle, when we finally got off of Ozfest and we were out, we were already pushed into a headlining position. Yeah. I really don't know why. It's just that there was a lot of excitement, so we could sell tickets, but also it felt like no one wanted to take us out. Because we go for blood, and it was a very difficult time. So there's a lot of venues. This is true. I remember being in Milwaukee at the Rave, which is across the street. Someone told me that Dahmer's apartment building was right there, and I remember it was overcast. Yeah, it was overcast and raining, and I'm looking at this building, and someone dropped that on me at like 9:45 in the morning as I'm like looking for a toilet, and my whole day's ruined. And that video game saved me to a point. I still have it. I invented in my brain, when something like that video game inspires you so much, you can't help but to go into flights of fancies and go, wouldn't it be cool if it did this, this, and this, because you're so inspired. And I can remember speaking to my manager at that point about these ideas for a skate game because I was so inspired. I like games that have hidden shit and glitches and tricks like Mario Brothers. You bounce on the fucking turtle on the stairs. Yeah. You got an infinite amount of free guys. You know what I mean? I like dumb shit like that. It's fun. So that's the kind of stuff I was saying. So that's cool. I got to get back into video games. I play World of Warcraft because it's just it's very arty. There's a zillion worlds. It's like bigger than Earth, and I can disappear in so many different mindsets. I can do this one day or this one day, and you can never get bored because there's a million things you can do. But I got to get back into like Doom and Quake and Tony Hawk.
They just put a new Doom game out. That one looks sick too.
Yeah, that's what got me into video games was like, of course I grew up in the Atari world and in television. I did all that. But what really got me was when Quake came out and Trent Reznor did the soundtrack and they put the game in OpenGL, which means the general public can just grab it and change the coding and put out your levels. It just changed my life, and then it got me into Doom. And I had played Wolfenstein and Doom 2 on the computer and gotten into that, but it was different when it hit PlayStation. Everything changed when it got out of that computer world. It was a little more difficult in that world because computers weren't as savvy as they are now. They work pretty efficiently. Back then, if my friend and I could fight each other online for 3 minutes, we were high-fiving. We're like, that was intense. Yeah. Oh, man. I got to get back into all that stuff. Hey, have you ever filmed yourself like with a helmet or somewhere on your body with a 360 cam?
Yes. I put it on the helmet. It looks kind of weird on the helmet. What I've noticed works best. So I've got that new, it's like the GoPro Max. Yeah. The further away you have it from yourself, the more you can really pull it out and like give it that perspective of it being like,
Could you take a monopod? Could you put one on a monopod, a stick, just a single stick tripod? Not tripod, a monopod, but could you stick it on there and hold a pole and get some turns? Could that happen, or would that sort of slice mess with the momentum?
No, I definitely could. It's actually something I've been wanting to do. Actually, the last thing that I just posted on Instagram, this guy was here. He's like a pretty big time skate filmer, and he works for GoPro. And I did like this backflip over the jump, and pretty much like he had this pole that was probably like 15 feet long, and we tried to just put it like in the middle of the gap, and it just made it look crazy.
It's fun, right? Yeah, I was watching a really cool video by Pussifer, Maynard's other band, and all those cats, and he has an area in this video where this guy's cranking down this street in this orange suit with a 360, and it's odd. It's great. Yeah. It's wonderful. And watching you today, I just watched a couple clips, of the dance. It's like, man, if you had that stick, it's like that whole, so like right now when I'm watching, it's like there's a big world, the neighborhood, the trees, the height. And if you use that stick with that camera, it would get really in, and a lot of that would disappear, and it'd just be like you in the air, sort of. You know what I mean? It'd be really fucking weird. So I'll have to, if that's something you're going to get into, I'll follow you after today or whatever. I can't wait because man, that park looks just. I mean, it's not a park. I'm not trying to call it that, or what, unless you do or whatever. But I mean, it's just such a great. It's huge. It's just it's wonderful. So.
Hell yeah!
I can't wait to come see it, man.
Hell yeah, man.
Like I was saying, the bowl in Venice is really cool because you never know who you're going to get. One day, it's just normal civilian skaters that are kicking ass, some young kids, with the pads with their parents, and they're ripping it up, no fear, dropping down in the bowl. And then one day you'll have a head come in, and I guess school it, but just show the form, just rip it up. And it's such an honor to be able to capture that sort of, and I like the attitude, man, because the attitude's tough. It's inner belief. It's not unlike being a quarterback going, hey, all you guys in front of me that want to kill me and tackle me, get ready because I'm going to throw this ball and we're going to win this game. And there's always that game face on, down in the bowls and the ramps, and I like that personal attitude. You can really get into someone's soul and know who they are quickly by their game face,
Yeah, for sure.
I always wanted to hide that with us. That's another reason, I came up with masks and stuff, because I don't want anybody knowing what I'm thinking moment by moment. It's just got to be.
Yeah, right. Well, I didn't even think about it like that.
Well, it's like I grew up on Hit Parader and Circus, and very rarely will you see a bad picture of David Lee Roth. Okay,
right.
In those magazines, very rarely, if ever. Actually, I don't know if I ever saw a bad picture of David Lee Roth. However, you might see a bad picture of someone, and I'm not going to throw anyone under the bus because I love them all, even the bands I didn't love. I love them all.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to throw anyone under the bus, but some people don't photograph well. So with me, I'm an only child, man. I just never wanted anybody looking in,
Yeah.
I'm void, and really, honestly, no one really wants to know what's going on under there anyway. It's too personal. It's too personal. Well, man, I can't wait to check out some of your music.
Hell yeah.
I can't wait to check that out. I think that's badass because it all kind of goes, it's not surprising. It feels natural. It seems like one-on-one that you'd be, pretty soon it's going to be all your music pumping all your art. You know what I mean? It's all going to be one big, like, your ramp is your art, your park is your art, your life is your art, your skating is your art, now your music. So it's all kind of like one thing, and that's really, really, really cool. I'll be down in that neck of woods, not too long or whatever, but man, we'll hook up if you don't mind. And man, I'd love to.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm trying to pick up with people again, and kind of like where I want ET to go is like I want to be able to, because I'm out in the world. It's like the phone is cool, and I want people to realize like two people that don't know each other can have a conversation, and hopefully it's a conversation that people want to hear. And then I kind of want to be able to meet people face to face and like take that on the human level, like prove that a conversation between two people that don't know each other can now be a physical thing where they see each other face to face, can extend a handshake, can build off of what we talked. And like, this is awesome because your sculpture that you make is like, it's something you come to see for sure. It's like, it's worth, I would think it'd be worth everything to just come and watch. I mean, if I was there and could watch the 12, not besides watch you, of course, absolutely, but to maybe accidentally the 12-year-old comes over and is just ripping it. Imagine what that does for one's person's aspirations, for the rest.
For sure.
The rest of
the sessions have been crazy here, dude. Like every day, there's just insane shit going down. So yeah, dude, definitely keep me posted when you come out here. We'll link up.
Yeah, man. Maybe you guys could have a little to have a jam, not a jam, a practice. Let's call it a genuine practice, because I miss practice. People, people always ask me, what's it like play in front of 90,000 people or more or whatever, and I love it, man. Like, that's a story for another time. But you know what, man? For me, sort of, it's never been better than being in the practice space with my bros, dreaming, and just getting to practice because of a dream. Like, I'm willing to sacrifice the rest of my day to come here with you because we're asphyxiated on something. So I love practice is always like my favorite. It's intimate. There's mistakes. There's start overs. Dudes drop sticks. Strings break.
Right.
Dudes are late. The choices of beverages. Who's bringing the double gulp? Who's bringing the kombucha? Who's just drinking water? Like, it's a whole thing, man. So maybe when I come, sit in on a practice and check you guys out, and then watch you go way late, waste to just this idea of air and what it is you do is insane. So.
Hell yeah.
All right, man. Well, I don't want to take up too much of your time. Thanks a lot for speaking with me today, especially in the world we live in right now. It's definitely a strange place, and it's fantastic that you got something that you can just be manual on. Yeah,
for sure. Super, super stoked on that. And, man, thanks for having me on, and great to connect with you. And, definitely keep me posted when you come out here, and that'd be sick to link up.
Definitely, man. I might be coming out pretty soon to, it's been 4 or 5 months since I've been off the road, and, I do business all the time, but I am the kind of cat that wants to see, I can do business for the rest of my life on the phone, but I want to see my friends. I want to be able to look upon people that I normally see and make sure they're okay. And it's probably a good thing for me to experience how it's going down in other places. Like, I know what it's like going down here in Des Moines, Iowa, I can tell you, but, I haven't been out of my little suburb at all in 4.5 months. I've been concentrating on my own life. So it's probably going to be a good thing for me to get out and feel my culture's situation. I need to know it, in order to be able to continue speaking, not for us, but with us, and keep the ear to the scene. So anyway, I'll be out there sooner than you think. And like I said, not trying to invite myself, but it's definitely a destination spot, damn it.
Dude, you're more than welcome, man. That would be awesome.
All right. I'll bring, man, it'll be a good time. So, all right, man. Well, tell everybody what's up and keep up the good work. And you have a great evening. Stay safe, and we'll
Thanks,
speak
brother,
soon. And I'll get some links up there and check you out, man.
Okay, sounds good, man.
All right, man. You have a great evening, man.
Okay, you too.